In a show of two very distinct halves this time, we'll be doing 70 plus with the powerboats at sunny but windy Stewartby in Bedfordshire. It must be about the windiest weekend of the year, and we're here at Stewartby in Bedfordshire. It's a large lake that I think must have been related to the brick industry locally, and now it's used for water sports. There's a large sailing club and there's quite a big powerboat club based here as well. This weekend the powerboating has been, well, pretty much written off on Sunday by the wind and bad weather. On Saturday they managed some racing, we'll show you that. This morning they've managed some racing in offshore racing boats, so we'll show you that too. It's really quite exciting stuff. At least the Sunday morning was bright and sunny. So after some delays when the race organisers had to make their decision about racing conditions and decided it was simply too dangerous for hydroplanes and catamarans to venture out, the offshore powerboats elected to run their two heats of the day back to back. While boats were launching, we grabbed the chance for a chat with one of the boat crews.
It's lovely out there. It's perfect for us.
Is that perfect for you?
It is perfect. No, it's perfect for us. Yeah.
To be honest, we're used to racing in the sea, so
this is kids stuff.
This is kids for us. Bad, yeah. We have a lot of nice waves and everything like that normally.
But you're the only guys who are going to be racing today, by the look of it.
It looks like it, and unless it improves by I think about 2 o'clock, then we'll be the only ones out today. Yes. Okay. This has been my first full season as navigator for Ben. This is Ben's first full season as a driver. This is a new boat for both of us. Ben used to be a navigator for the gentleman next to us here. So for both of us it's all new. So we're lack of sponsorship and everything else and just struggling to do it ourselves really.
But you're having a good time doing it?
Great time doing it, yeah.
How many races will you do this season?
We've done 4 so far. This is our 5th, but this is a basic for us. This doesn't give us any points. This is just a fun race. Really just to support the other things here, purely for something like today where the other boats couldn't go out, so at least people who have made the journey down here have got something to watch really.
It's a good weekend's practice.
It's a good weekend's practice and the beer's good, and then next weekend we're off to Belgium to watch a bit of ski racing. The weekend after that we're down at Gravesend if anyone wants to make their way down there for a good bit of racing in the sea hopefully.
Tell us what's happening at Gravesend then.
Gravesend is one of our championship races. We'll be racing the whole weekend, Saturday and Sunday down there. There'll be 4 heats. So we'll be down there from Friday all weekend. Come down and see us really. I mean if anyone wanted to seriously have a look or whatever or talk about it, come down to one of the events. All the whole events calendar is on the website. Go on there, have a look, come down to one of the events. We're all very approachable. We might buy them a beer as well. So come and have a chat, and maybe next season they can either be a navigator for someone, or again if we've got another basic race, someone can maybe jump in the back of one of these and just have a feel for it before they take the plunge really.
A sport we're doing now, it's all standard production. So you've got standard production boat and a standard production engine. So it's basically, as long as your boat's in good order, you can get out and race really.
In the last few minutes before the start, we heard from OCR Vice Chairman Steve Oaten about the conditions on the course.
It is a bit windy, but it seems to follow us around throughout the season really. Wherever we go offshore, we tend to get bad weather, so it's just business as normal for us.
But it doesn't spoil it for your boys, for your races?
Makes it more fun, a few more incidents. We did 2 heats yesterday, we'll do 2 heats today, which allows us to sort of like make it a competition for the day, and then we'll tot it up and come up with a winner. But the boat that won yesterday might find it a bit more difficult today. It might not find it quite as easy to get the legs on everybody else.
Why is that? Because he's lighter or what?
Steve in A2 is pretty much a fair weather driver. He doesn't like the rough. He admits that he doesn't like the rough. But when it's flat, he does very, very well. He won all the heats here last year, and when we do have flat weather offshore, he does quite well there as well. they'd just be looking to make sure that the wind doesn't get too much under the boat and tip them over. I mean, it's quite a strong wind out there, and it is possible that one of the boats could be tipped over if they hit someone's wash, get on the wrong side of it, and wind gets underneath. It's when they've got the wind on the side, and if they've got the wind on the side and they hit a turn buoy and there's a boat in front of them and their boat comes up, if the wind gets underneath, it can roll them over and spit them out.
Here at Stewartby, racers would usually start from the jetty and pontoon, but due to the weather, today's racers start from a line-up, and it isn't possible to get a very straight or even line. The course takes boats out to a turn buoy on the far side of the circuit, and here they join the main course. This can be a straight end-to-end oval course, but it could be a triangle. Offshore racing boats come into their own in rough sea conditions, where a combination of hull design and high power enables them to keep going. But there is an element of danger, and although no boat capsized or took to the air, one or two completely lost control and took some time to settle back on course. Racers work on the basis of a fixed time period plus a single lap. The drivers get a warning flag as they complete the last of the time period and go into the final circuit. The shoreside team keep track of the race positions during the timed period. The racing is pretty fierce, and after all, they only go out to win. Offshore circuit racing is not a hugely expensive sport to get into. Second-hand boats range from £4,000 or £5,000 upward, but you can spend as much as you wish. Race meetings mainly happen in the south of England over the spring and summer, so travel is fairly limited, but taking on a whole season of racing can be quite expensive. Probably the best way to get into the scene is to take a look first, then start talking to crews and organisers. The racing fleet is always keen to expand, and if you're serious you'll be welcomed and given plenty of chances to experience the boats and the racing venues. Many drivers start as navigators, then decide to go the whole hog and buy a boat and trailer. As we've enjoyed covering this form of inland waters circuit racing a couple of times this season, we're looking at ways of doing much more for next season. As always, businesses and individuals interested in helping or making a comment are welcome to contact us. Drop us a line at editorial@uk-boating.tv. Before we go, there's just time for a quick visit back to Stewartby to look at the only World Championship 0350 race heat they were able to run. This was on Saturday afternoon, and it's a completely different kind of racing to the OCR classes we saw earlier. Now that's what I call a dramatic bit of action on the water. There'll be more from our inland, coastal and offshore waters in the next edition of UK Boating, premiering here on Information TV, Sky Channel 167 on the 18th of July.